All right. So, question from earlier this morning was, how are you going to allow, or how are you going to use the change that's occurred in the marketplace over the last 12 months as an opportunity to grow? And that's the focus for today's conversation, whatever you want to call it, is how to effectively generate appointments from open houses, starting with the pre, the during, and the post. I mean, we're going to go all in. We're going all in on open house today. So sit back, relax. If you have any comments at all, please go ahead and leave them in the comment box below. And I'll get to those comments, questions, whatever you have. I really just want to do a full deep dive into the open house strategy for today. So let's get started. Before we go too far into the weeds, this is what I know to be true. The vast majority of real estate agents do the following. They pick their open house the day before. They're scrambling. They're trying to figure out, where am I going to do an open house? No, my friends canceled on me for my weekend plan, so maybe I'll do an open house. Okay, so then you get the scraps, right? You don't get the good stuff. An effective open house begins on Monday. On Monday, you should already know where you're hosting that weekend. And ideally, if you're going to be putting all this work into doing an open house, you might as well do it both days. And you might as well do it longer, is what most people do, the 1 to 4. What about a 12 to 5 or a 1 to 5 or a 12 to 4 or an 11 to 6 or an 11 to 2 half-hour break, 2:30 to 5:30, 11 to 2, 3 to 6. There's so many different ways to do it. You can do multiple open houses, and if you have access to endless open houses, which at my previous brokerage, there were always agents looking for hosts. But the question is, how are you going to create momentum heading into the weekend? So let's begin. And let's see, there's a share video file, share screen. Okay. So I'm sorry, there's some technical difficulties that are not allowing me to do this right now, which is really unfortunate. But oh no, this is not good. Yes, share. Okay, entire screen. Perfect. I am hoping that this shows up. If not, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, everyone. I thought I had this figured out, but let's hop over to this one here. So this is the open house strategy that has worked very effectively for me, for my agents on my team. The 5 days leading up to the Saturday and Sunday that you're hosting, there are activities lined up every single day for you to ensure that the open house is a success. Open houses, for me, are the cherry on top. I am doing an open house to generate listing appointments. And if you don't have that mentality going into the open house, you might as well be drinking mimosas at Bill's. Like literally, Bill's is for those of you that are not local, Bill's is a local brunch spot. But regardless, when you're doing these 5 things here, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they should be setting you up for massive success during the weekend. So Monday, identify the open house. The hardest part sometimes is being the open. And if you're able to do that, phenomenal. The second that you figure out where you're hosting, you're going to go to a tool like Remind. I love Remind. It's a tool that we use to find, it's basically a title search. So there's every home is available for you to like download and like get all of the information about the owner. They also have a smart algorithm how they do it, but they have a ranking system, and they rank the best or highest likely to sell sellers in any given area, and they call them high sell scores. So whatever tool you use, it could be the 50 closest high sell scores, it could just be the 50 closest houses. I prefer to use something that has at least a little bit of data behind it, like a little bit of thought behind it, as opposed to just say the 50 closest houses, because there it's a crapshoot. If you do a 5% turnover on 50 homes, that's like 2, maybe 3 homes that will sell in the next year, maybe. If you can increase those odds by doing the 50 closest high sell scores, perhaps those high sell scores have a 10% chance of turning over as opposed to the 5. Well, I'd rather do the 10 than the 5 because that gives me double the amount of potential opportunities. So you're going to find the 50 closest high sell scores via the tool of your choice and smart analytics tool of your choice. I think there's Smart Zip, Offers. They're all decent. Then you're going to go to Tuesday. On Tuesday, you visit the property. You shoot a little video. You take out your phone. This is how I got good at video, guys. Take out the phone. Just do the, hey, this is Danny Gould with Selling Silicon Valley Group, inviting all of you to my exclusive open house. The home's going to be open from 1 to 4 p.m. But if you're seeing this video, just know that I'm actually going to be there at 12:30. So if you want to beat the crowds, you don't want COVID all over you, you can come in exclusively from 12:30 to 1. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you there. Boom. So you just did that. Then you're going to download numbers from wherever. It says Vulcan here. Vulcan was a tool that I was using for a while. I don't do that anymore. You can skip trace it. You can use whatever you want to find legitimate data. At this point, you want to upload that list to Facebook, and you can retarget. You can retarget people based on that information. So you can basically upload it to Facebook, retarget those people. And I would also run, so you basically make those people a part of your database and run it to your entire CRM. So you want to do that for a couple reasons. Number one, why do you want to invite your database? Well, your database should know that you're doing open houses. Like, why are you being a secret agent? You should be shouting it from the rooftops. I'm doing an open house this weekend. I'm going to share a little story with you as to why that's important. I did this shit all the time when I was doing open houses consistently. I had a taco truck at one of my new listings. We had mega open house. I did all of this plus more. I posted the video on my Facebook that I was doing an open house. Unbeknownst to me, my friend, who I had spent all of sophomore year living down the hall from at Stanford, his sister was in the market for a home. And unbeknownst to me, he told his sister, hey, you should go to Danny Gould's open house. That's all he knew, right? Is that open house. So he redirected the sister to my open house. At the open house, I talked to the sister. I find out that she's written, I don't remember how many offers, but it was some ridiculous amount. It was like 9 offers, something like that. I then said, well, what is it that you think is missing? Like, where do you think the disconnect is? And so we kind of go into the whole thing, and lo and behold, I set an appointment with her. She wasn't happy with her agent. She was looking for a change. Great. I sit down with them on the Monday or the Tuesday afterwards, after the open house. We sign a buyer broker. On Wednesday, we show them a house. On Thursday, they're in contract. Okay. It's like a $500,000, $600,000 home. Flash forward earlier this year. Now they sold that home with me for $800,000. And they bought another home with me at $1.6 million. That one video made me $3 million in volume. Got me $3 million in volume. 85-ish plus thousand in GCI from one video. So if you are looking at this thing right now and you're saying, wow, that's a lot of work, or, oh man, like no one's ever going to see that video, fuck you. There is no reason why you shouldn't be doing this, because these are the little things. But the little things turn into big things. All right, guys? So you're going to upload the list to Facebook. You're going to run it to all your friends, your database. You're going to publicize it on your personal Facebook page as well. Don't forget that. Great. The video's up there. You've put some juice behind it. It's being retargeted to your database. All of your friends know that you're doing an open house, and it's only Tuesday. Imagine that. Then you're going to go on Wednesday. You're going to call through a list, inviting all the neighbors to the open house. Whatever, make sure that it's scrubbed. Make sure that you follow DNC rules. No one wants to get in trouble here. Or if you feel like doing it the old-fashioned way, why don't you just door knock? Whatever you want to do, you should be inviting the neighbors to the open house from the high sell score list. Got it? So you want to use the list and use it to be effective with your prospecting time, because nobody has all day to be calling through, 1,000 homes nearby. So on Thursday, you want to kind of write out like a text message to anyone in the neighborhood that you have numbers for and that you've like gotten permission to like text, and you want to invite them to the open house. Now, what you're going to do is on Friday, you're going to send out those text messages for the next day. Hey, so-and-so, I'm really excited to see you tomorrow at the open house. Maybe send them the video too. On Friday, you want to pull all of the trend. So we have these, I say pull trends and Altos report. Whatever data source you have access to for your local marketplace, you should be downloading the data that's available to you for that specific neighborhood that you're going to be hosting in, so that you can see what are the pendings, what's the inventory like, what are the solds like, what is going on in this market right now. You should be the knowledge broker. You should also take 20 to 30 minutes to study the comparables, the trends, the schools, the neighborhood, local restaurants, local bars. What is there to do in the area? There are so many things that you should be doing. Let me ask you a question. It's rhetorical. How many of these things are you doing? I would think that probably not too many of these things. So all of this leads to the open house. At the open house, your primary objective should be to set the appointment. Now, if you come from a place of contribution, you're going to win. If you come from a place of commission breath, you're going to lose. Difference. Contribution. What are you looking for in a home? Build your dream house for me. Tell me everything that you're looking for. Oh, you don't think you can get that? Well, what if I told you that the more you tell me about what you want, the better chance we have of finding you more? What's important to you? Schools? Boom, 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 boom. Ask questions. Don't do the following, which is what most agents do. Hi, I'm Danny Goulds. Please sign in. Okay. I want you to ask yourself something. When's the last time that you got asked to sign in where you didn't leave fake information or just told that person to F off? It's like every time, right? Okay, so I caught myself. I bought a new car in December, and when I walked in there, even during COVID, they had a sign in. And even though I knew when I walked in that day, I was going to buy a car. I mean, I knew it. I knew I had the car picked out. I had the salesperson picked out. I had already been there. They say, please sign in, sir. And I caught myself. I was leaving the fake email that I always leave when I was signing in. And I was like, oh my God. I said, and this is for something that I really, truly want. This is something that I've been looking forward to, and yet I'm giving these guys fake information because we are programmed as human beings now to avoid sign-in sheets at all costs. So why are you doing what's not working? Why are you doing what humans are conditioned now to reject? Are you going to go back to the way things were? Or are you going to allow this to inspire change in you? So, yes, we do want our guests to sign in, but it doesn't happen at the beginning. Okay. There are ways to ensure that you get the proper information. Number one, at the beginning, you want to go for the appointment. So they come in through the door. That whole objective, that first dialogue, that first conversation is to go for the appointment. If you can't close everyone, you can't get everyone. If they're not agreeable, if they don't accept what you're looking for, if they don't accept what you have to offer, let them go. There's plenty more, hopefully, that are coming through the door. Then, when they're walking through the house, so one of my favorite agent isms is, well, what'd you think? They're always going to say like, oh, it's good. It's good. What are they going to say? Oh my God, I love the home. Of course not. People are smart. They're educated. They know that you sitting at the open house, whether you are or not, they believe you to be the seller's representative. So why are they going to tell you that they love the home and give away all their chips? Of course, they're not going to tell you that. So either way, I might start asking you questions. But the best way that I've found to sign in the guests is to simply say, well, no, I'm blank. Oh, okay. Is to simply say, would you like us to keep you updated on the status of the home? Would you like us to keep you updated on the status of the home? If they're walking into that house, I would say 75% of them actually have an interest at some point in making a buying or selling decision. Maybe less, maybe about 50%. Maybe 50%, let's say 50% are committed to buying or selling in the future. Maybe 25% are interested, but they're not committed. And then 25% are just randos. People like to call them looky-loos. Okay. Yeah, they're looky loose. So would you like us to keep us updated? Would you like us to keep you updated on the status of the home? Oh, well, sure. All right, great. Well, what's the best email for you? And phone number? I said phone number 408. All right, I got that one from a. Can't remember who taught me that one actually, but you start with the area code that's closest to the area. So you say, hey, what's the area that you're looking in? Or that's the area that you're looking in. What's the best email? Then finally the phone number. You say and phone number 408, because 408's our area code, whatever it is, 650-415, whatever your area code is. Oh, they'll correct you. If it's not 408, they'll be like, oh, no, it's I'm actually from San Diego. Be like, oh, and then sometimes you start striking up conversations with these people and building more rapport because they're telling you now where they come from. Oh, wow, you're from San Diego. That's amazing. So what brought you up to the Bay Area? Oh, you're really relocating. Okay, got it. Well, are you familiar with just the San Jose area? Or are you looking in other areas as well? Like what? You see? So that can also spark and spark conversation. And then finally, okay, so you see, I do have lead follow-up here. And so there's a big difference. If your objective is to collect leads at open house, that's exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get leads. If your objective is to set an appointment at the open house, you will, as a byproduct, procure leads for yourself and hopefully set 1 or 2 appointments or more. I think the most I set in one single open house was like 7. That was an insane open house. It was a condo in Mountain View. I ended up selling that condo to one of the buyers. Okay, it wasn't my listing. I sold the condo to one of the buyers, and then I ended up transacting with I believe 2 or 3 of the other buyers. So I ended up having almost a 50% conversion on the appointments that I set from that open house. It was a $1 million condo. You guys do the math on that. That was a good weekend. Okay, that was a good weekend. So again, creating this system for lead follow-up. What are you doing to stay in front of those leads? If you're just putting them into your system and just praying that they will eventually call you, that's a pipe dream. Because there are sharks out there that are telling them at the next open house what they need to hear, what they want to hear. Cool. I'm going to start my screen share here. So we're almost out of time. 30 minutes today, guys. Phenomenal. We just went over the open house stuff. We just finished the open house. By the way, one of the things I didn't put in there, but it's absolutely crucial, is, are you putting out 24 signs? Or are you just putting out 5 or 6? Because let me tell you, if you're putting out 5 or 6 signs, what do you think that tells the neighbors? I mean, if you're going to half-ass something like that, do you really want your name on it? I certainly don't. If I find out that my agent put out 6 signs with the Selling Silicon Valley logo all over it, I'd be very upset. Because they're better than that. We have a standard of excellence, and I hire based on who I believe will represent the brand and represent our core values, and also go out there and hustle for their clients. And that just doesn't show or demonstrate to me hustle. Another story. See, I'm full of stories when it comes to open houses because I did them for so long. And it's like, I wonder why I'm getting so fluffy right now. It's because on the weekends, I used to not go to Bill's. And now I do. But I used to Saturday, Sunday, wake up, work out, load the signs up in the car, and get out there. So where's my story? Where's this going? I vividly remember hosting an open house that was actually not even my listing, nor was it a listing for anyone in my brokerage. I got that open house by cold calling agents that had listings using my manager, Robert Cruz's at the time. My manager, Robert Cruz's strategy of contacting vacant go directs with out of area brokers. So basically the broker's not in town, like they're in Southern California and we're in Northern California. And then also it's a vacant go direct listing. Generally that means that the agent's not doing jack shit for the house. And they don't have any boots on the ground because they're all the way in Timbuktu. So I called one of the vacant go direct. She said, yeah, absolutely. You can host it. We'd love for you to host it. So I went there. I hosted it both days. That open house, I vividly remember doing 30 signs. I think it was 30 signs total. And I was putting them all over the place on the main roads, and I was hustling and this and that. When the open house was over on Saturday, I went out, I was grabbing signs, and some lady in a minivan was honking at me. She was honking. You know, at first I was just like, I thought it was just like a rando, just like honking. But then like, eventually I realized like she was trying to get my attention. And so she was like, come here. And so I go up to the car, and I mean, she seemed like harmless. So I just like went up to her and I was like, hi, how can I help? And she's like, I have been watching you all day. I saw you in the morning. I saw you putting out your signs, and I want you to list my house. And I was like, what? Like, it's like, so hold on, this doesn't make any sense. So I was like, great, I would love to. Tell me more. And we were kind of in an intersection, and there are people honking at her because I was it's hard to explain, but like I was in the center divide because I had a sign on the center divide and I was picking it up, and that's where she honked at me. So I came up. Anyway, someone was trying to turn left while she was right there at the island. So she was like in the middle of her. I said, tell you what, I said, what are you guys doing right now? And she was like, oh, she's like, I'm going home. I said, okay, well, I'm going to wrap up here. I'm going to pick up all my signs. Why don't I meet you at the house and we can talk more about it? At the time, see, another strategy that was taught to me by my coach, mentor, incredible lady, Lorna Hines. Always have your marketing packet ready in the car, and always have a listing agreement in the car. So I had all my stuff ready to go. And so I just said, hey, listen, like, let's meet at, what's the address? What's your phone number? So I got down all her contact information. She bolted. And I specifically remember her saying, like, I've seen you. She said what she said to me at the center divide. She said something like, if you're willing to work this hard to put up signs, then I know how hard you're going to be willing to work to get my home sold. It was some like iteration of that. I have to agree with that statement. there is no reason why anyone should doubt your hustle if you're putting in the work. But the reason I tell that story is for a couple of reasons. Number one, it validates the sign theory. Number two, it validates the concept that no matter what you do, no matter where you go, people are always watching. And that should scare you, but it should also invigorate you. It should allow you to live your life with a reckless abandon and with absolute focus. It's like what is it like? I've never actually even seen the movie, but like the Truman Show, where like people are like watching the guy. Like I feel like there's some truth to that, because I've experienced it in real life. And that's just, that's one of several stories that relate to the power of open house signs, but that's the one I'm going to share today. Anyways, guys, we're over time. By the way, just a fun aside. The husband was not a fan of me. He wouldn't even let me in the door. So I ended up not getting a listing. So I don't want you guys, oh my God, he got the listing. Like I did. Unfortunately, I didn't. I got to the house, and as it turns out, the wife called me afterwards and says, "Hey, I'm so sorry, but like my husband's friend's dad is a realtor, and I just don't think he's going to do a good job for us. Like he's so old school. He's like, his brochures look like they were made in the 90s." And she was just going on and on and on about how she had no faith in this other agent. She wanted me to kind of come in and show what we could do. And I said, "Hey, listen, no problem. I understand. Like, ultimately, it's a family decision, and it is what it is. It just would have been nice to know that I wasn't welcome in before I got there, but but yeah, it just goes to show you that, I mean, yeah, that's like a sour way for it to end, but I never forgot that moment, because the power wasn't the outcome doesn't mitigate the importance of living life just knowing that someone's always watching, and being aware of that, and knowing that if you do all the little things, good things will always come of it. The little things, the signs, the videos, it all matters. It all adds up. This is Danny Gould, everyone. Selling Silicon Valley, legendary agents. Catch all of you in the next one.